Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello, good day everyone, especially to our beloved instructor, Ma'am Nona. Good day to you, ma'am. So the topic assigned to us is the learner-centered teaching and its teaching strategies. So this will be our learning objectives. At the end of the presentation, learners will be able to know about learner-centered teaching, to determine the characteristics of learner-centered teaching, to recognize the benefits of learner-centered teaching, and to know the learner-centered teaching strategies and its example activities. So this will be the scope of our report. So we'll be tackling about the definition, the characteristics, the benefits, the teaching strategies, and its example activities. So, good day once again. By the way, I am Beverly Arjano, and I am going to report about what is learner-centered teaching. So, what is learner-centered teaching? It is inverting the traditional teacher-centered teaching. So, meaning we invert or not to follow the traditional way of learning. It's because we are now in the 21st century. So, dili na applicable ang old way of learning sa atong estudyante karon, especially sad nga we are now advanced when it comes sa technology and understanding of the learning process and putting students at the center of the learning process. So understanding of the learning process meaning that we as a teacher we need to be very observant to understand and to know our students, and we have to analyze everything about our students, especially sa ilahang background, sa ilahang interest, sa ilahang intelligences, sa ilahang learning styles. So we have to know that as a teacher. It's because para sa makabaluta sa atong learning goal para sa ilaha and makabaluta sa mga strategies nga ato ang i-implement sa ilaha. And given that, we can put the students at the center of the learning process. So to continue, it shifts the focus and the activity from the teacher to the learners. So meaning, in this learner-centered teaching, ang activity is nakafocus ka learner. Whereas sa katong traditional, syempre, ang focus is naa ka teacher. So lahi na karon kita as a student, we are responsible for our own learning. So unlike before nga maminaw ra gyud ta sa maestra, maghulat ra tag mando sa maestra like okay class, get 1/2 sheet of paper, copy this, memorize this, and we will have an exam tomorrow. So in the traditional way, no, we are just passively listening to the teachers, and we find it very boring. We find it laay kaayo, so murag wala tay freedom, no, like recess ra gyud ang atong kalipay sa una. Pero sa karon is ang activity is naka-focus na gyud siya kang learner. Then it emphasizes what the learners do and not what the teacher does. So what matter here is what the learners can do. So dili ang kung unsa ang mahimo ni teacher. So ang atong main concern diri is kung unsa ang mabuhat ni learner, no? Kung unsang iyang mga natun-an, kung kita as a teacher kung na-meet ba nato ang atong learning goal para sa atong learner. And then, it focuses on skills and practices in a lifelong learning, creative thinking, and independent problem solving. So, since ang main focus nato diri is ang learner, then we should expect nga ma-develop ilahang skills and practices in a lifelong learning. When we say a lifelong learning, it is a continuous processes. So basically, kani nga mga skills as being creative thinker, an independent problem solver, so these are the skills nga kinahanglan ma-develop ni students to become a lifelong learner, especially karon nga daghan na kaayog challenges nga like ongoing pa ang pandemic. So these skills is very important. And then it insists the learners to actively construct their own knowledge. So meaning, they can construct their own knowledge based on their understanding. So dili lang perminti nga mag-rely lang ta sa books. So dili lang pwede nga mag-memorize lang ta word per word. But with a given activity sa teacher, then they can construct their own knowledge and they can also relate that knowledge to their experiences and they can also apply that into their real life situation. And then why implement? So why learner-centered teaching should be implemented in the educational classroom? It's because there is a need to produce learners who are critical thinkers, problem solvers, and creative. So that's what I said a while ago that these skills should be developed. No, they must have these skills, and there is a need to produce learners having these skills. And then there is a knowledge explosion. Thus, a need to make sense of it, not memorize it. So there is a knowledge explosion because of the unlimited source of information, which is the internet, right? So with knowledge, it is also important to make sense because what's the use of knowledge kung memorizon lang nga memorizon, word per word, without even understanding. So kinahanglan nga with knowledge, we also have to make sense of it. And then it can improve student engagement and ownership of learning. So meaning students can improve their engagements. So they are being participative na and they are socializing towards others and they are aware that they have that responsibility as a student and they are taking that ownership of their own learning. So this time I will give the floor to Ma'am Almi Jane Ipon. She will be tackling about the characteristics of learner-centered learning.
Good morning, ma'am. Para sa pag-continue sa among topic, mao niya nga ako ang topic all about characteristics learner-centered learning. Characteristics. Teaching and learning is personalized. Example, para sa atua, if we want to focus in the learner jud, there are two tips nga ato ang himuon og need na to i-apply sa ato ang kaugalingon. Number 1, encourage self-assessment. It can give us an opportunities to assess our own learning through self-reflection. Number 2, utilize digital tools. Personalized learning is supported by engaging blended learning environment. Combine the best face-to-face instruction with digital tools to be more efficient and to be more effective as an educator. Mao to siya ang duha ka tips nga need na to i-apply sa ato ang kaugalingon to focus the learner. Teachers have the options of structuring the learning environment that suits to their students. Just like kay Ma'am Nona, it's up to her kung tudloan ta niya about sa lain nga mga butang, but make sure nga ang iyang itudlo sa ato is related lang sa ato ang subjects. They have learned the knowledge and skills. Examples sa learning of skills as a student, time management, note-taking, and schedule planning. Students have the flexibility to learn. The best example ani is ang face-to-face. Why? Because mas maka-learn ta sa face-to-face unlike aning ingon ani lang sa ato ang pamaagi nga through online. Kaya ang face-to-face mas makasabot man jud og mas makapaminaw og tarong si students compare aning Google Meet kay daghang students nga dili maka-join, dili makapaminaw sa i-discuss ni teacher kay tungod sa hinay ang signal, wala i-load, sa ingon ana nga pamaagi mag-behind og maayo ang students. It is also the method of learning where the students are given a freedom in how, what, when, and where they learn. Learners learn anytime and anywhere. Example, we as a students, we can learn anytime if we want to learn. We can learn anywhere too kung gustuhon lang sad nato. Ang pagtuon nato is naalang gyud sa ato ang kaugalingon. Choice nato kung ato abang buhaton nga gusto ta maka-learn or dili. Students give opportunities to learn their own way. Nai examples ani or nai tips to encourage ourselves to learn in our own. Number 1, focus on learning, allow time, focus on process, always know why, ask the right questions. Kato siya nga mga tips, mo po to siya ang need po na to nga i-apply sa ato ang kaugalingon to learn in our own.
So, in behalf of Ma'am Bertlin Taghap, so since she is not around, then I will be doing her part. So, I will be tackling about the benefits of learner-centered teaching. So, it permits opportunities to connect the content to real life. So, that's why we as a teacher, we must provide various activities na ma-apply nila ang ma-apply sa atong student in the real life. So, for example, sa math, so, when you teach subtraction, dili lang kay mag-solve kag 2 minus 1 equals 1. So, dapat mag-provide ka og word problem na ma-relate nila into their real life. So, for example, si Anna nagpalit siya og makaon worth 20. And then, ang iyang money is 50. So, pila iyang sukli? So, such things like that. So, given that problem, then, ma-relate ni a learner ang nga knowledge into their real life. And then, it provides opportunities for higher order thinking as opposed to passive listening. So it provides them with the opportunities that requires higher order thinking. So since si learner man ang mag-research, mag-explore, and mag-analyze, so siya tanan ang responsible sa iyang learning. So given that, ma-develop ni learner ang iyang higher order thinking skills rather than just passively listening to the teacher. And then it promotes greater student, faculty, and student to student interaction. Yes, because the teacher will be guiding and facilitating and will be giving feedback to the learner. So, mao na siya ang student to faculty interaction. While sa student and to student interaction, so through collaborative activity, they will be sharing their ideas and they will be interacting with each other. And then increases student retention. So meaning ma-increase ang ilahang retention sa ilahang memory. So unlike before nga we keep on memorizing word per word. So kung malimtan na tong isa ka word, mawala na dayon ta. So balik ko na sad nato ug memorize. Whereas kung kita mismo nakasabot, so it is understanding not just memorizing. Kay kung nasabtan nato, that's where mag-increase ang atong retention. And then improve student self-esteem. So, meaning they are being confident with the knowledge that they have. And then encourages alternative forms of assessment. So you as a teacher, you are going to make your own forms and rubrics in assessing and evaluating the differentiated activities nga imong gi-impose sa ilaha. And of course, you have to search for more sources of assessment. And then lastly, it encourages innovation in both teaching and student involvement. So meaning you have to make innovations and alternative ways to support your teaching to assist every learners. So you must be resourceful and make alternative ways if needed. And this time I will give the floor to Ma'am Jemima Salahag for the learner-centered teaching strategies.
So we have three types of teaching strategies. Number one is active learning, cooperative learning, inquiry-based learning. Active learning, the focus of this teaching method is the construction of knowledge rather than the transmission of knowledge from a source such as the teacher. So, as a future educator, so dapat kabalot ta unsaon pag-handle sa mga students labi na kung laayon sila. So, maghimo tag techniques para active atong klase o active pud ilahang pagpaminaw. So, we have 6 active learning activities. Number 1 is jigsaw puzzle. Jigsaw puzzle. Doing puzzle reinforces connections between brain cells, improves mental speed, and is an especially effective way to improve short-term memory. Number 2 is experiments. Classroom experiments are activities where any number of students work in groups on carefully designed guided inquiry questions. Experiments involve observations or observing actions to try to answer a question or solve a problem. Experiment is kasagara gyud na siya by group, talagsa ra gyud kaayo ang individual. Experiment is involve observations para ma-answer nimo ang mga pangutana sa imuhang teacher. Number 3 is project-based learning. Project-based learning is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills. Number 4 is discovery learning. Asking deeper Discovery learning to provide students who have learning problems for which they have previously received instruction which they have mastered. So, discovery learning na siya asking deeper questions, having discussion and debates, researching information. So, mao na siya ang gaka implement pag buingon tag discovery learning. Na diha ang mga pangutana sa mga students or para pod pagpangutana sa mga teachers matubag pod sa students. So, ang ikalima ang Q&A. Q&A, a critical skill in maintaining conversation, is answering question and asking related questions. So, sa klase, mao gyud na kahitabo nga pag human sa explain sa teacher, mo response din ang students kung unsay ilahang mga pangutana og tubagon ni teacher or si teacher mangutana sa students, dayon depende na pod sa teacher kung unsa iya mga strategy, kung magpa-games ba siya or maghimo siya activities nga ang mga students mo answer gyud sa iyahang mga pangutana. And last but not the least, problem-based learning. Problem-based learning is a teaching style that pushes students to become the drivers of their learning education. Example, learn and apply to solve the problem. Told what they need to know. So, usahay na ay mga problema about sa mga learning. Na ay mga dili nato kahibalo kung asa sila dapit mas active so that naatay technique nga himuon para makakwanta sila mga pangutana kung unsa ilahang problema about sa learning. So, naatay role of the teacher in active learning. Number 1, teacher as the motivator, teacher as the facilitator, teacher as the assessor. As a future educator, we have to encourage students when a student feel a personal connection with the teacher, valuing and respecting them too. We have to encourage self-confidence and ability in the child or learner to help them their growth process and learning. And teachers should know where the students are, where they need to be, and how to get them there. So that's all. Thank you.
So another example of teaching strategy under learner-centered teaching is the cooperative learning. So it is the process of breaking a classroom of students into small groups so they can discover a new concept together and help each other learn. So this just means that the class is being divided into groups. So they will be grouping themselves in order to collaborate, to interact, and to share something from each other's ideas and experiences. So the main features about this cooperative learning is that to highlight the interdependence and also to highlight the importance of personal responsibility. So when we say personal responsibility, so in a group and as a member of the group, of course, you should be aware that you have the responsibility as a member to share and to contribute. So dili lang kay permi lang magsalig sa leader. So dapat each member has to participate and cooperate as well to work as part of the team. So how does cooperative learning be effective? So how does cooperative learning be effective? So these are the responsibilities for each individual as a member of the group. So first is to try. Of course, as a member, you need to try in order to help and to share. So, ayaw kahadlok nga mag-try kay para raman sad na sa grupo ang imuhang pag-try. Next is to be present, meaning not just to be present physically but also kanang ma-feel sa tanan nga naa ka as a member nila. So dili lang kay mura ga tao-tao ra ka. So dapat present ka physically, mentally, and socially towards sa imong mga ka-groupmates. And then we have here to ask. And then we have here to ask and then to be polite. So these are the basic skills, no, as a member. And then we have here to listen. Of course, you have to listen to others' opinion. Dili lang kay imuha ra tanan. Dili porket ikaw ang leader, ikaw ra masunod. So dapat timbang-timbangon nimo as a leader. And then you have to help and to praise. So kinahanglan jud nato i-praise atong isig ka member para sad ma-motivate sila to do their task and para ma-feel sa each member that they are part of the group. And when you achieve or completed a task in the group, then praise each other. And then the role of the teacher in cooperative learning. So first is designer of cooperative learning situations. So as a teacher, you have to plan the activities nga suitable sa mga learners. And then we have here the behavior model. Of course, you have to act as a model of having a good character as a teacher para sad ma-apply nila towards sa ilang mga classmates. And then, learning consultant. So as a consultant, whenever na ay clarifications sa mga students regarding sa ilahang task, then you are there to clear that clarifications and facilitate them throughout their task. And lastly is the moderator. So as a moderator, dili lang kay isa ra ka grupo imong ginatagaan og pagtagad, but always see to it that you are being fair to all as their moderator. So these are the example of the cooperative learning activities. First is we have here the think, pair, and share. So it can be used to help students form individual ideas, to discuss and to share with the others in group. And then we have here the tea party activity. It doesn't only allow students to have the chance to share ideas, but it also allows students to make conversations to learn from each other. And the role of the teacher here will just to facilitate if students are sharing ideas through conversations. And then we have here the carousel. So it is a communicative activity and interactive opportunity for the students to get up and move around a room in a circular fashion. So that ends my report, and I will give the floor to Ma'am Ipon for the inquiry-based learning.
Now, proceed ta sa inquiry-based learning. Number 1, orientation and observation. Inquiry orientation is an approach to knowing and understanding. Example, si teacher maghatag siya og task sa iyahang mga students. But before that, i-orient sa niya ang iyahang students kung unsaon ni siya paghimo, unsa nga mga steps ang angay buhaton before sila mo proceed ana. Observation. Si teacher kay mag-observe siya sa iyahang students if nag-follow ba gyud sa instructions, nag-follow ba gyud sa steps, o kanang nagtinabangay sila sa ilahang task. Question and conceptualize. Question. About sa gipahimo ni teacher nga task sa iyahang student, mangutana siya if unsang ilahang na-learn sa iyahang gipahimo nga task. Nagtinabangay ba silang tanan? Nasunod ba nila ang mga steps? Gifollow ba nila ang rules? Just like that. Investigation. I think investigation and observation, ma'am, is murag na sila pagkapariha. Correct me if I'm wrong po. Mag-investigate ka sa imong student if na mag-investigate ka sa ila if nakahimo ba gyud sila sa imong gipabuhat nga task. Conclusion. It is the one that uses by teachers in learning process. It is also the facilitator guided the student to develop their knowledge and skills. Discussion and sharing. Paghuman sa ilahang task nga gipabuhat ni teacher, the students will mag-share sila sa ilahang mga gipanghimo, mag-share sila sa ilahang task nga unsa ang ilahang mga giagian before nila na-complete, mag-share sila sa ilahang kagrupo kung nag-enjoy ba sila or wala, then short discussion. Ingon ana lang siya, then mo lang to, ma'am. Thank you.